What is the difference between God and source? I love this question, and I don't, because that opens up a potential can of worms. Source is the creator being of our strata, the creator being of all that is. Depending on how you skin the cat, there is a being that is above source, and I call it the absolute. So if we're talking about the one and only absolute of which everything came, that would be the absolute. There are multiple sources underneath the light of the great absolute. Each of them are a great teacher in their own right. The source that we study under is the source of love. The frequency of that one being is love. So one thing you need to know about your soul is that right now your soul chose to study for many, 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 many incarnations under the great teacher that is love. That is why in our temporal existence, we hear things like, all you need is love. Love cures all. You know, everything is possible with love, because we live in the strata of love. There are many other sources out there. There is the source of abundance. There is the source of truth. There is, all types of things. There are even darker sources like source of pride. You guys all, by the virtue of you being on planet Earth, 100% of you are studying under the source that is love. Okay. God is not source. When I use God, I usually use it interchangeably when I mean source, and a lot of people do. However, when I use the word God, I don't mean God from the Bible or God from the Quran or, from any of the religious teachings, because there have been projections of source that is not the entire source that have come here as beings. One of them is Yahweh, that are not source, but are the authors of sacred scriptures like the Bible and the Quran. Yahweh would be of a similar frequency as Zeus and Ra, right? Like, you wouldn't think that Zeus is source for sure, because the portrayal of Zeus is very funny. So essentially the creator is source, but Yahweh is more like the Zeus type of consciousness that gave us our Bible, because a lot of major religions came from Yahweh. But Yahweh, in his own perception, wanted to be the one and only God. And that is how we get monotheistic religions instead of polytheism. Because as a consciousness, his great thing that he's working through right now is pride. That is his greatest sin, just like Lucifer. That is Yahweh's sin. And in this gift of pride, he wants to be like God, or like source rather, but he's not. And so he creates this monotheistic religion and a lot of worship to play that game. There's a whole lot of expansion available to Yahweh that he's actually integrating right now. So he's ascending as we speak, a great being, not the same thing as source.